another thing happens. Okay, what's that song? Isn't it ironic who sings that?
Alanis Morissette.
Alanis Morissette. And what does she say with that? What does she say with it?
Like, this guy never flew a plane in his life, and then it's one time that he flies one plane, it crashes.
It crashes, yeah. Or it rains, what is it? Someone gets married, and it rains
on your wedding day.
Rains on your wedding day, or something like that. Okay, so this is irony. We're going to have a lot of irony in The Adventures of Huck Finn. We are also going to have satire. What is satire?
Using humor to poke fun at a serious situation, something to bring about change.
Okay, that's what we're doing. I use satire in here sometimes. I'm not as good as Swain, but when I say something like, God forbid you guys study and pass an exam every once in a while, that's a little bit more like, not satire, but...
It's kind of an insult.
That's more, that's not satire. It starts with an S. What other word? Sarcasm. That's sarcasm. Yeah, that's you. And look, verbal irony, sarcasm, and satire. So, what I want you guys to do is look for examples of that in Huck Finn when you are reading. Now today, we would have maybe had a quiz. And I could have asked you some important things about Huck Finn, such as, why were they shooting cannons over the water? Does anyone know?
No,
So they can bring up the body. Why, Chelsea? Why would a cannon do that? What would a cannon do to make it? It does. You're right. You're so right. It does. You remember what cannons sound like? Boom. And when you hear that noise, who are the guys? The guys, or even girls too. Isn't it something like physics or something that it makes that noise and it shakes everything? Have you heard of sonic booms on airplanes? Okay, sonic booms on airplanes. It shakes the windows. It shakes the windows. So, when you have that boom of the cannon, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to bring those bodies up because they thought maybe he might have been caught on a branch. Have you ever heard of anyone being drowning in a river or anything? Well, they think that's what's happened to Huck. They think that he's drowned in the river. Why do they think he's drowned in the river? He chopped up a pig. Yeah, he pretended. How smart is he? How smart is he? Why did he do that?
So no one would follow him, so it looks kind of like someone came in and robbed the house, took everything, killed him, so like no one would come looking for him.
Because he wants to be free. Who's he want to be free of?
Dad.
Pat?
Dad.
Widow Douglas? Who else?
Law.
Miss Watson? The law? One big, great big one. Great big one. This is what we're going to be escaping this entire novel, which this is a great big escape novel. Huge thing that we're going to be escaping. No? Anyone, think about it. What is Huck escaping? Civilization. Civilization. Or society's rules. Which is, what is society's rules? Civilization. You cannot have civilization without rules, can you? No, you cannot have civilization. How would it be? How would civilization be without rules? Mass chaos. Why, Ebony? Why? You need to have guidelines. How many of you guys in here have said, I'm sick and tired of the rules Mom and Dad give us? Sick and tired of following their rules. Which one do you want them to get rid of, Brianna? Which rule do you want to be done with?
We don't have time to think about this.
Okay. What's a rule you want to get rid of, Stephen?
There's a lot of them.
Chores.
Yes.
Chores?
Yes.
Chores. Which one do you want to get rid of?
All of them, but I keep the chores one because I don't like messiness.
You don't like messiness. Keep them, Lori. Curfew. Let's get rid of the curfew. Okay. I'm hoping somebody come up with curfew. No one has curfew anymore. No one has it. I've taken it away. You go home and tell your mom and dad I've taken your curfew away. You're all free. No curfew. What time you gonna come home? What?
If you're driving, right after you
You have a curfew that, well, but no, I'm taking it away. All from the law and everything. So what kind of life are you going to have then? Gangs like me, mine are cops and robbers. But think about it. What kind of life will you have? Would you like to live without rules? Who wants to live without rules? Alex does. How are you going to be? How would you be without rules? Free.
Okay, but if we were to take away the rules, would we take away like parents altogether, or would
No, you're not going to take away parents altogether. They're going to be your buddy. They're going to go out with you because they don't have any rules either.
You can't murder someone.
Where can you live without rules? Where can you live without rules?
California, Las Vegas,
Mexico.
So y'all have places where you think you can live without rules. Huck thinks that he can live anywhere but in society. And so that's what he's escaping. He is escaping society, right? And he's escaping society's rules, which you guys want to escape as well. It's kind of a search for a new identity, isn't it? So Huck's going to be trying on all these identities. What is Jim searching for? What's Jim running from? Slavery. So we're running from slavery, which is what? What is slavery? Not okay. It is a what, Kelsey?
I said it's labor, so it's not free.
Not free. It is a product of society, isn't it? Isn't it a product of the society that they're living in? Okay. What is unusual about this novel? Who are the protagonists? Jim, who is a slave. We've got Jim is a slave. And Huck. Young, white boy. All right. They are teaming up. Who's in charge of who? Who's in charge of who? Huck is in charge of Jim. So Huck is in charge of Jim because of why? He's white and because of society again. Once again, society is controlling. Society is controlling this entire relationship. Correct? I can't hear you. Exactly. It is hypocritical, Jackson. You are so right. And this is what we're going to discover. I want you, while you're reading this, to see, is it right to use this book? Is it right to ban this book? Do you think this book should be banned? While you're reading this, I want you to keep that in mind, as well as all of this, verbal irony, satire, and sarcasm. I want you to see if you can find examples of this, and then I want you to think about this. I want you to think about both of them escaping, what they are escaping. Got it? And should it be banned? Should there be a ban on this book? All right. Who's having trouble reading it? Who's having trouble with the dialect?
I've been reading it out loud with the.
Does it work?
Yeah.
It does, doesn't it? Is everyone laughing at you when you're reading it out loud?
I've been home alone.
Okay. Who else has read aloud? Does it help?
Yeah.
It does help tremendously, doesn't it? What's a passage that you maybe struggled with? Anyone have a passage? Pap?
Yeah.
What about? Do you have questions about him?
Not really any questions. It was just kind of hard to read because he's awful at speaking English.
Oh, I think Jim's worse.
Yeah.
Don't you think Jim's worse? Who dat?
Well,
We all know what that is, don't we? From the New Orleans.